very quickly.
You introduce it. Then
Okay.
call Q&A.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. We are running short of time. We need to move a little bit.
Please, songeni nyuma kidogo akina mama wetu, the other side, tafadhali. We need to create space for the members of the press to capture everything.
Members of the press, can you hear us? We are good. Yes, this is a delegation of the Limuru 3, if I may call it so.
It is so.
Under the leadership of Honorable Jeremiah Kioni and Governor Raila Odinga. They have come to Chungwa House to officially present the resolutions of Limuru 3 conference to the leadership of ODM under our own leader, Right Honorable Raila Odinga. So really, without much ado, allow me to welcome the Honorable Governor Raila Odinga to usher in Honorable Kioni to present the resolutions to the party leader, His Excellency Raila Odinga. Thank you very much. Karibu, Governor.
I thank you. The political parties that organized Limuru 3, many of them are members of Azimio Coalition. Many of them. And therefore, it has been our wish to present the resolutions of Limuru 3 to other parties in our coalition, as well as to the leadership of Azimio. And therefore, we thank the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and the whole team here at Chungwa House for the opportunity to do so. One person, 1 shilling, 1 vote. The answer to it is to implement devolution fully and to fund devolution fully. We do not suggest and cannot possibly suggest that for resources, more resources to go to the region commonly known as Mount Kenya, that you must take them from elsewhere. And that is not what we mean. It is rather that the wasteful expenditure at the national level should stop, and the duplication of devolution or devolved functions should stop. And those resources should follow the functions at the devolved level. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome the Honorable Jeremiah Kioni to give you a summary of those resolutions and to hand them over to the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Honorable Kioni.
Asante sana. We held Limuru 3 on the 17th of May this year. Limuru 3 was organized by the ordinary Kenyans from the mountain, the Kikuyu, Embu, and Meru. And we had several resolutions like my colleague has said. One of the resolutions is also to reach out to other like-minded Kenyans who are suffering or have realized or have been the fight against the oppression that has been occasioned to us by UDA. We have done this to Wiper Party, we did this to DAP, and we are now privileged today to bring our resolutions to ODM. And it is a great honor that Baba created time, and the many members of parliament who are here from ODM party, and even the leadership of ODM party. It is a great demonstration of how parties should behave. I have said before, I don't want to go into that line, but I have said it before. If you want to know one of the towns that are developing most, even actually one of the very modern towns today, it is Kisumu. And you can tell why. you can actually see it here today. They have never been in government in the manner that some of us have been in our regions. Yet, you can see developments in that area more than developments we see in other areas. So, that leads me to one of the other resolutions that we did at Limuru, and that we were not having Limuru 3 to endorse political leadership or political candidate for the presidency within our region. That we refused, and we are not going to do that. It will not be part of what we will continue doing, because we believe that what is important are the issues that are facing us. If they can unite us, they can bring us together. If we can start addressing the issues that ordinary Kenyans are complaining about, then those issues will produce a leader. It is not the leader to tell us what our problems are, but the issues will produce a leader. And we also agreed that one of the other issues that was going around within the region is the desire to make sure that we are completely scattered politically. And for that reason, we agreed as political parties from that region that we will be working under one umbrella grouping we are calling Haki. And we also resolved that Haki, the patron, not the party leader, the patron of that Haki will be none other than Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, for the reason that he is not in active politics. He is not going to vie for any presidential position, but he has the capacity and the ability, and also the respect that can bring the people in the mountain together, so that we are not scattered like we were scattered 2022 until we gave birth to the very unfortunate disaster that we find ourselves under today. And alongside that, we also resolved that for the avoidance of doubt, there is something we call Mudegi in our community. And that Mudegi was given to Uhuru, not when he was a president, but even before he became the president of this republic. And that Mudegi remains with Uhuru until the community decides otherwise when it finds it necessary. We resolved as a team that we will have to work together with other Kenyans to resist oppression. UDA has occasioned oppression within our area, and there was that false narrative that we are shareholders. You can now ask people in the region, they understand what is shareholding, and we are not shareholding in the disaster that is before us as a country. And we also agreed, and it has been mentioned, that the mantra of one man, one vote, one shilling is a thing that we are not going to relent pushing, not because it benefits people in the mountain, that's far from it. It actually benefits every other person in this country, and as it has been said, it is not for us to take from somebody so that it comes to us. No, it is for us to ask from the national government that which they are holding on to and refusing to let come to the people. Wale ambao wanapata waendelee kupata yao, lakini sisi pia tupatiwe na national government ile ambao wamekatalia kule juu. So those who have been thinking that we went to Limuru to discuss issues at the exclusion of other Kenyans, that is far from it, and that is why we would want those who are now harboring the issue of 41 against 1 within UDA to know that they are really mistaken, and it will not find space within the political space. So those, among many other issues that are contained in the report, are part of the resolutions that we arrived at Limuru. And it is now my honor and privilege to present the resolutions to Baba, so that it is clear to every Kenyan that what is contained here, it has nothing against any other Kenyan. There are issues that concern all of us, and if we can come together like we have been urged before by Baba, we'll be able to get rid of the oppression that is now there, being occasioned to all Kenyans. Those many remarks, Baba.
Okay, before that, I would like to request that you step forward for purposes of, together with Governor Nderito and one lady from that side, then the deputy party leader and the vice chair, and Madam Catherine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mono. Asante. Haya, asante.
May I also, for the record, give the apologies of many others who were with us at Limuru. We have people assembled at Naivasha because of the political parties liaison committee. Some of the leaders of the other political parties are there. And there are also other committees we formed within the Limuru 3. This is the reach out committee that was tasked with this exercise. And I thank you, Baba.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Now, members of the press, as you have already been told, this is a delegation that has come from that conference that they call Limuru 3. I'm accompanied here by one of my deputies, Honorable Wiklis Ambesa Paranya, and I'm also here with the deputy chairman of our party, Governor Simbarati, and there are several other honorable members of parliament of ODM who are here. This delegation came to present to us a report of the meeting that was held in Limuru, known as Limuru 3. And as you know, there was a lot of discussions about Limuru 3, whether it should take place or not, whether it was going to unite or divide the people of Kenya. But having listened to them, before we came here, I'm convinced that the Limuru 3 is one of these discussions that we need to have in this country, across the length and breadth of our country. We fought very hard to introduce freedom of expression and association in our country. As you know, we came from an era of a single-party dictatorship where expressions and dissent were completely banned. We brought in this new constitution which gives Kenyans the fundamental right of expression and association. And this is something must be selflessly guarded by the Kenyan people. We have had conversation for a long time. I actually gave them a kind of a summary of our history as a people, where we came from and how we came together, about the struggle for independence of our country, and why this area was unique, where particularly we had the armed struggle, because this was one of the areas which was settled by the white men, and they had to take up arms in order to be able to liberate themselves and get back their land. But the rest of the other Kenyans joined this struggle. So it became a Kenyan people's struggle, the nationalist struggle, that eventually forced the British to hand over independence to our people. As the founding father used to say, "Hatukupewa uhuru, tulinyakua." Uhuru tulinyakua. Tulinyakua, and we must selflessly guard this independence that we won from the British. Now, this new constitution again came as a result of a very long and also bloody struggle. You know, we came from an era of a single-party dictatorship that had criminalized political association and freedom of expression. Eventually, we managed to remove Section 2A and finally bring in a new constitution in 2010. But this new constitution was finally a compromise. It was still a work in progress. There are several areas which still need to be looked at, particularly the devolution chapter. But in the devolution, we talked about equity in sharing of resources in our country. Not equality, equity in sharing of resources in our country. That means you actually take count of the numbers of the people where they are, because the services are primarily first and foremost to the people. So one of the points that was discussed extensively during these deliberations in Limuru, according to information that we now have, is this issue of resource sharing of our country. Somehow this thing has been misrepresented as if it is discriminating against other parts of our country. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is not a question of discrimination. We want to ensure that each and every Kenyan gets a fair share of resources created by our sweat. This is what it is. It cannot be right that some children should get more money as bursary than other children in other parts of the country. And I think this is a conversation which, if we have it openly, in a open dialogue, we'll be able to convince majority of our people that this is the right way to go. And that's why in the BBI, we had proposed it. We proposed it, some people don't want to hear it. But we want to ensure that each and every Kenyan is fairly treated, equally treated. And that's why we're saying, you agree with this phrase that is one man, one vote, one shilling. I agree totally with this. I'm never a populist. I always talk with my mind openly. I know that it may not be very popular in some quarters, but let us have this conversation. As a people, let us have this conversation. Secondly, Kenyans are hurting, but I'm going to talk about that on another occasion, not today. But know that Kenyans are hurting seriously currently, and the proposals which are contained in the finance bill are going to add a lot of burden on the people of Kenya. And that's why I'm going to speak about that separately. But here, I want to thank them for coming to share this report with us, and we wish them luck in whatever they're doing as a people. Kenyans must stand together as one people. Let us unite as one people to ensure that we guard very selflessly the gains that we have already made, and unite also so that we can continue to open up the democratic space for our people, for the future generation. I thank you.
Thank you. Asante sana. Do you have any question? We're only going to take 2 questions. We start with you, Brian. Come. Step forward. Just come. Your media house and the name.
Right Honorable, my name is Brian Mushiri of NTV. On the issue of one man, one vote, one shilling, and a day or two ago, Honorable Jeremiah Kioni came out to say that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has now seen the light on this push of one man, one vote, one shilling. If there is that push, are you willing to work with Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua?
Well, I'm working with everybody in this country. Nobody specifically. President Gachagua is a member of the government. And as you know, yesterday, the government pledged that they are going to support my bid for AU. And I said, Hewala. I thank them. So he is seen the light. His soul was now become a Paul. Thank you very much.
Okay, the last one.
Your Excellency, my name is Apollo TV47. Yesterday you spoke about some friends who came to you in your AU quest. Does the friends include former President Uhuru Kenyatta?
Request for AUC. Friends are friends. Friends are friends. And he approves 100%.
Maybe the last one.
Thank you. My name is Vincent Mumo from Citizen TV. I know you said you will address this in a different forum, but Kenyans are really eager to hear the official statement or the official position of the ODM party on the finance bill, and also the strategy that ODM is going to employ in the parliament, because that is where the real struggle is. Thank you.
We have leadership in parliament. They are going to talk about the strategy that they will deploy. But I would say that I'm going to talk about that issue at another forum. Okay.
Thank you. Asanteni sana. Okay.